Wait.
Fuck, that was weak.
That is our universe-ending snap for this podcast. Welcome back, Minecrafters and podcasters, to the H3. No,
we're gonna get copyrighted for that.
Okay, listen, everyone. Welcome back to our second Endgame podcast. Yeah, because we did the one about the theories, and now this one is about the movie that came out yesterday on April 25th.
As of recording this,
it is April 26th right now.
Yes.
So, basically, we're going to be doing a sort of review with non-spoilers and spoilers, and we will give you the warning about the spoilers. So, if you're still here after that point, then that's your fault. So, all right, and I am here with.
We'll start with you.
Crystal.
I'm Louis.
Island.
And I'm Cameron because I forgot to say my name. But yeah, so basically, let's start out with what's the first question? How was the movie, man? This is non-spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
How was the movie?
I liked it. I would give it a solid 8 or 9 out of 10. There were a few things that I didn't like about it and a few things that I'm concerned with that go as far as from a filmmaking perspective and also from just like plot holes and things like that. That also, I mean, they can always get fixed, but it was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would go see it again.
All right. Maybe you guys can go. It's just.
I really enjoyed it. I give it a 9 out of 10 because I don't really care about the plot holes and stuff. I don't really.
So you're saying just as a movie, it's a.
Yeah, just as a movie, it was a really, really good movie, and I would say that it was one of the best Marvel movies that I've seen.
Okay, now I would say, as far as Marvel movies go, I would give it, well, like all the movies in this universe, you know, and all that, I would give it like a 9.5 out of 10. I'm leaving off 0.5 because there's like a few annoyances I have, I guess, but you know.
And we will go more in depth later in the spoiler part. So if you don't care and you want to hear our opinion on it, just stay for that. But I would give it a 8 or 9 out of 10 because it was. Now this might seem like a broken record if anyone has seen any of the reviews for Infinity War Endgame already, but basically it was the best way to sum up a series. Like it was a perfect recount of everything in 3 hours. Yeah, it was 3 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah.
One thing I also will say is it doesn't feel like a 3-hour movie watching it because it's constantly going.
Yeah, you know what? That's what even Allie said that she watched that. My girlfriend, she was watching it like she went at 3 a.m. and she said the exact same thing. It's like she felt like it was like an hour and a half because it was just like solid all the way through.
Yeah. Aside from your bladder will let you know that it was 3 hours. But it's just everything is constantly moving, so it feels like it's going really fast.
Yeah. And we had the 11:55 showing.
Yes, we got out at 3 a.m.
We got at 3 a.m. only because there was like 25 minutes of fucking commercials.
Yeah,
that's true.
And every time I thought it was over, there was more.
Hey, but they need a Pokemon.
The Pokemon one was good, and then they introduced Will Smith's new movie, and I'm just like, dude, retire.
With the really shitty CGI motocross bike.
And they did
breathe
the
really hard in the mic.
Scarlet, what's her face?
Excuse me?
The Marvel movie.
Wait, the Marvel movie.
The Marvel, was it a show? What was it? She was.
What are you smoking?
I didn't.
There
see
was
any Marvel
no.
trailers.
I don't think there was.
There was
Marvel.
okay.
Dude,
Wasn't it Elizabeth Olsen's character?
Scarlet Witch?
Yeah. Didn't she have the thing that was advertised there?
No.
Not that I noticed.
All right, cut this out.
No, this is staying.
Cut this out.
All right. So, with that said, with all of our reviews out, was it better than Infinity War?
Yeah, I think
most
so.
definitely. I really liked Infinity War too, but like this was definitely better.
Yeah, I liked it more than Infinity War. I thought it was better.
Infinity War was kind of okay for me. I didn't feel like anything during the movie at all, and this one made me feel stuff for the people.
I think a big part of it too is, and even the Russo brothers have said this, is that Infinity War was Thanos' movie, and Endgame is the hero's movie, and so rather than being with Thanos for most of the movie, we're with the heroes and these characters that we've known for 10 years.
Yeah, so that's why it's better.
Yeah,
in a way.
I think that we care about it a lot.
I enjoyed Infinity War more though.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoyed the hunt for the stones. That was really cool.
Well, yeah, this is definitely a different type of movie than the rest
of
the
course,
Marvel movies,
but
I guess.
So Thanos really is like this character with no context. Really, we just know that he's the big bad that's been building up. But Infinity War captured him very well and explained why he was doing all of this perfectly. And it showed that like he wasn't just a crazy maniac. I mean, he is kind of a maniac, but he wasn't crazy. He actually had some probable cause behind his motives and all that.
Yeah, I do think that if I don't think Endgame would have been as good as it was without Infinity War, because we basically get a whole movie to meet Thanos before the events of Endgame.
So that just like explains this, and then this is like,
and it showed the heroes finally losing, because every movie they've always come out on top somehow, but this one they finally lost.
Yeah, dude, I went into Infinity War somehow like oblivious to like, even though I saw all the memes and all that, like I was oblivious to the ending, and then the ending happened. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah. So yeah, I just thought I thought it was better because it was different, because it was something we haven't seen.
That's true.
And then Endgame was also different because it always like it kept you guessing. Cause
I think it was a lot of things that people wanted to see though, rather than something new.
Yeah. But it still was very good though. But yeah.
Well, a lot of things that people wanted to see, like.
Well, we can't talk details.
We can't talk details.
Without spoilers.
We can't, dude. Everything that we need to talk about is spoilers.
Even saying that it's a lot of things. It's a thing that a lot of people wanted to see. Some people might get upset.
Yeah.
And this non-spoiler portion is going to be very short. So yeah. But
should you see the movie?
Yeah. Yes. Did it live up to the hype? Would you recommend this to people?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. I went in with high expectations, and it went higher than my expectations were. But I know that a lot of people have been going in with higher expectations than me.
Yeah.
And so I because I've been looking at like comments on Instagram and stuff, and a lot of people have not a lot of people, but there's been a few people that have been saying that the movie didn't meet their expectations, and that they went in with their expectations so high that they didn't realize the movie could not meet those expectations until they watched it.
Now, see, that to me, I mean, I am nowhere near like as big a Marvel fan as like you guys, but sorry, but and so I say that because like I didn't have like I expected not to like it as much as Infinity War, really, because the trailers, I don't know, the trailers to me threw me off to what I actually saw, you know.
That's kind of the point.
But well, I don't know, but I feel like the Infinity War trailer was kind of like spot on to what I was seeing. But anyways, so but I am surprised to hear that people were like their expectations were not met, because like to me it's like, well, to me it was a really good movie, and it's like, what more could you expect from me? You know what I mean?
There's a few things that I can think of off the top of my head, which I will go in further into in the spoiler part. But there like a lot of fan art is how do I say it? There was a lot of fan art after Infinity War with all these crazy theories about what was going to happen, and then that was like, wow, that would make the movie great. So I'll go more into that later. But yeah, that's basically all I have for the non-spoiler part. But so should you recommend this like, how badly would you recommend like people should go watch this?
I think if you're not a Marvel fan, it's a good watch for fun. It's entertaining. Not something that you would really sit down and watch if you're like a film buff and you really enjoy like a cinematic masterpiece. You know, not to say that it's not a good cinematic piece of art, but it's not like you're not gonna study it.
None of the Marvel movies are like that.
Yeah.
But it is a good movie.
Yeah.
Like
It's
as
a lot of fun.
movie, like take out Marvel from it, it is just a good movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really good movie.
It has a lot of interesting themes, and it's just a well-made movie. But if you are a Marvel fan, definitely like 100% go see it.
Well,
like
obviously they're gonna
you do not want to miss this movie. If you've read a single comic book, you do not want to miss this movie.
Or seen a glimpse of any of the movies at all. Even if you haven't seen the full movie, if you've seen a glimpse of it, you need to go watch it.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was that good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is practically it for the non-spoiler portion. Like I said, very short. But so you want to do a countdown?
All right. Yeah, we'll count down to spoilers. 5, as in like countdown before you turn off the shit, because we're gonna have spoilers. 5, 4, 3.
Wait. What comes after 3?
2, 1. Spoilers inbound. Captain America wielded the fucking hammer, and Tony Stark died.
Okay. That's not exactly how I wanted to jump into that. So let's start with favorite scenes, because my family always does that after a movie. We give out our favorite scenes. So
There's a lot.
When you think of watching the movie, what stood out like immediately?
So it's hard because the thing that got me was when Thor was dual wielding Stormbreaker and Mjolnir, or however you pronounce it. Mjolnir. When he dual wielded those, I was like, holy fuck, that's fucking awesome. Then Captain America started wielding Mjolnir, which blew out. What? Mjolnir. I can't pronounce it. I've always referred to it as just the hammer. Yeah, I'm just gonna refer to it as the hammer because I can't pronounce it. He started wielding Thor's hammer, which blew out Thor dual wielding Stormbreaker and the hammer out of the water,
which in turn blew Louis' mind.
Yeah, I still really liked that scene, but and then I also really like Spider-Man's entrance.
Wait. You said your favorite scene, one, dude.
There's so many though.
You need to choose one, because then someone else probably going to say the same thing that you're going to, or they might not say the same thing you're going to say.
The entire final battle.
Okay, so the entire final battle. Mylan, what was your favorite scene?
I don't know why this is coming to mind, but I just liked when Tony Stark was like talking to his dad.
Oh yeah, that was a good. Yeah. That was a good character.
Yeah, I don't know. I like anything with it was really
Iron well done. And that's where it comes in that this like from like a film perspective, this was still a good film because not only like was that just well done, but also like it really helps Tony Stark's character arc, and it gives a lot of more insight to his character. Like we already knew he had daddy issues, but it gives a lot more insight into his character.
And you know what I also like about that is like it's like it just seemed like a nice thing to have, and like he dies at the end of the movie. It just seems like a rounded out character arc.
Yeah.
Well, because he started out as the like billionaire that didn't give a fuck about anything, and then he made the sacrifice play to help finish the battle. Yeah, multiple times. But
literally the line in the first Avengers where Captain America says, "You're not the one to make the sacrifice play." Yeah. That is what led me to believe that he was going to die by doing the sacrifice play.
Well, in Avengers 1, he did make the sacrifice play. Yeah. And Age of Ultron, he didn't make. No one made a sacrifice play really in that one. Well, Quicksilver did, but no one gave a fuck about that guy. And then he made the sacrifice play in Endgame, and so it kind of did come full circle. Crystal, what was your favorite part?
When Thor chopped off.
That was sad.
Oh yeah, literally first 15 minutes Thanos dies.
I was
just wanted to get that out of the air.
We'll talk more. I don't know what you want to talk about next. Exactly.
Well, I don't know. I liked just Thor.
Just Thor. Yeah. So to put that in context, Thor changed drastically in this movie.
I didn't like that.
I didn't like it,
but I did at the same time because I hated how weak he looked in this movie. And the last movie, he was hella strong. He was like one of the strongest Avengers in the team. And then this movie was just ass, so that was boo-boo, but whatever.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because like they were building him up to be like the strongest Avenger, But it did make sense. Like, all he was living for was to kill Thanos, and once that happened, he didn't really have anything else. He had no family. He had Korg and Meek, and that was about it. And so, like, he just let himself go. So it made sense why they went down that route. I didn't like it, but it was definitely good for comedic value, though.
Yeah, I was halfway hoping that in the final battle, where he was gonna like strike himself with lightning and then just get blasted back into chiseled Chris Hemsworth.
It would have made no sense, but I thought it would have been perfect.
Yeah, but it didn't happen, and it's not a big deal.
Well, he did kind of.
No, it's not a deal breaker for the movie.
And then his beard goes in.
Oh yeah,
tied up.
When
like,
he wields both of them, his beard somehow gets braided.
Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
grabs
And
it.
his hair gets braided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you noticed that, did you, Crystal? Okay.
He is.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about something that I kind of have taken issue with Infinity War since it came out, and I'm also think is going to be a problem with this movie.
Someone's here.
God,
Hey,
shut
Jordan.
the fuck up, Jordan.
Hey,
God.
we're spoiling Endgame, so if you don't... So run, Forrest, run.
So an issue I took with Infinity War now, because I really liked Infinity War when it came out. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like there isn't much rewatchability in it because having the experiences in the theater, like Thor arriving in Wakanda and whatever else I can. Iron Man's nanotechnology suit coming up, and like all those things where everyone was like cheering in the theater. Those only have that effect like the first time it's amazing, and then the times after that it just slowly gets less and less important, and then the rewatchability kind of just goes away because there isn't much other substance in the film, I feel like, to really make it worth watching again. And so that's an issue that I take with it, that with Infinity War, like I said I was gonna, or I didn't say it here, but I told you I was gonna watch Infinity War before we went to go see Endgame, and I just wasn't interested in it while I was watching it, even though like I knew it was important. I was kind of just like, I don't really feel like watching.
You were
this.
just excited about Endgame, and you didn't care to focus on.
Maybe
I only watched it to see if I can get any like tiny details of what I might have missed, like watching it like the first 10 times that I watched Infinity War.
But then I think that is that what this movie is going to be like, and I can't really tell until later down the line after I've seen it a couple times. But is that what this?
I feel like that's with all movies.
It's
not necessarily.
There are some movies where like you can keep watching it and like it's pretty open ended, and then like you can always keep like it
Like,
brings you back.
But there's like Nightcrawler, for example, is a movie I can watch over and over again because there's different things I can look at each time I watch it and study
But
the characters.
again, you have to think of that's a completely different type of movie.
Yeah, it's a completely
This is just a
different
very
category,
straightforward movie.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm saying there isn't much rewatchability.
Well, in
Well,
that case, then
yeah,
there's no
all-
rewatchability in any other Marvel movies.
Yeah.
which is
was that I said last night.
Although I feel like this one did a better job because, like you said, like the scene with Iron Man and his dad, like that's a scene that I could watch over and over again. And like I feel like this movie didn't rely as much on the spectacle of like all these crazy like comic booky things happening. You know, that are really cool to see.
To
Infinity War, because there
like,
was a lot going on that was just like you would only see in a comic. Like I remember the Battle in New York, or not Battle in New York. When Ebony Maw and that Black Dwarf came down to fight Iron Man and Doctor Strange. Like no one else was around. They just magically disappeared. Or there was actually a few people just walking around the streets like nothing was happening. So it was just like it was very comic booky. Like, oh, that's happening again. So.
But I feel like this movie delved a lot deeper into the characters, and it made it a lot more interesting rather than
that's true.
Than just like, because obviously it's interesting the first time you watch it because like that fucking final battle scene was fucking awesome. Yeah. But then when you rewatch it again, is it gonna have the same effect?
Well, yeah, because like that, it was a pretty big battle scene, so you might have you obviously missed something that was going on, or you don't remember exactly what happened. So that's the beauty of replayability, is that you get to know, you get to watch these things and then be like, oh, that's what he did, or that was going on behind him. Because like I remember there was always specific parts they focused on certain characters, like Rescue, which is basically Pepper Potts in her armor, and Iron Man fighting together. That was cool.
Yeah, that
but
was really cool.
You didn't realize that they were like decimating those big ass floating. I fucking forgot what they're called, but they were in Avengers 1. Those big floating lizard things or whatever. They were decimating those in literally like one hit now.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like little things like that you didn't notice because you were too focused on those two characters that were just kicking ass together.
Controversial opinion. The final like ending sequence, it was good, but it's probably my least favorite part of the movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I just thought it was like we're saying. I really thought it was a pretty good movie, and like character building wise and everything wise, like, and it was a full circle ending, I guess, for like the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about like
But
Captain America's part?
No, he's just talking about the battle.
Well,
Captain
itself.
America's part was really good.
Okay,
Okay,
well, let's
wait.
just wait.
But I'm just thinking like I don't know.
No,
it might just be a personal opinion, but
no,
I just felt like it kind of got too cheesy at the end, like in the battle scene
I can
compared to
understand
the
that.
rest of the movie.
Yeah, it
I
got
guess
more.
so.
It got more of that comic booky act.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
and,
I like
and there
that.
was like scene after scene of like, this is happening, what? And then the
Yeah.
whole crowd was like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
And
that.
then like,
That okay. So every movie's got a climax, right? That
yeah,
was the
but like
climax,
that's
dude.
like I don't know. It was just like a cheap climax. To
That was
me,
not a
like-
cheap climax. You know how much
It was
money
just
that
like-
you know how much money that cost?
No, but it was like okay, here's all the characters back, just like everybody knew was gonna happen in the beginning of the movie. This is why we're all seeing the movie. Here's
Yeah.
all the characters that we knew were gonna come back.
But I think
Whoa.
again, that's one of those things that's like kind of was expected, and I think
Yeah.
that's probably
Yeah.
why you didn't like it, is because it was kind of
Well,
expected.
it was expected, but then it was. You're onto something here. That's why I didn't like it, because it was expected, but then it was portrayed like this big spectacle, and then everyone was freaking out, and I just didn't like. I don't know. I was just like, this is not.
I don't like the theater hype either.
Yeah,
like
I
I
know.
rather.
We were
watch the
talking
movie-
about that
yeah,
when it
I'd
ended,
rather
like-
watch the movie at home by myself and not have a bunch of fucking nerds screaming about it.
Fucking,
Um,
all right,
but-
you antisocial person. Jesus.
But
Mm.
I mean, some of it was okay, but like,
I think watching it for fun, because I went into it knowing people were gonna be like that.
Fuck
I
yeah.
think
me too. But
That's the whole point of going Thursday night is you get that hype.
yeah,
Right,
I think
but I think it ruins the immersion of you watching the movie when there's a
That's
bunch
true.
of screeching, like 20-year-olds.
That's
well,
true.
The,
again,
the weird, you're making fun of them, but they're the same age as you, if not like a few years
Right.
younger or older. So you're making fun of yourself practically.
But-
was I in the theater screeching?
you know what
Listen,
though?
you
I've
should've
never been
been.
to a movie opening night, so that
You've
was
never been?
also a new,
Oh,
I-
you missed out.
newish
I think
experience.
that it's fun to go and have the crowd experience when you're just watching the movie for fun. But again, if you were to want to actually like watch it the way that you wanted to watch
Right,
it,
yeah,
where you
that's-
want to study it and you really want to be in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
you definitely need
Well, but
you definitely need to watch it by yourself.
Totally.
What about Iron Man's whole character arc throughout the whole MCU?
Throughout the
What
whole
do you guys think of
MCU,
Sick.
I thought it was perfect.
best character arc of any other character.
Well, first of all, he's the one that started it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was honestly, I didn't want it to happen, but I knew it was going to happen. He was going to make the sacrifice play to finish off Thanos.
I really liked the way that they did it, because I was under the impression that the way that he was going to die was at the hands of Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that Thanos was going to be the one that kills
See,
him, which
okay.
would have made it that much more hard
Emotional,
to
epic.
To watch. Yeah.
However, I really appreciate the way that they did it in the sense that he still sacrificed himself, and in a way, Thanos
Wait, how
still
did it
killed
happen
him.
again?
He
He
ripped
just-
all the stones off of Thanos'
and then
hand.
put it-
Oh
then
yeah,
put it
and
on
he
his
had
suit,
him. Yeah,
and then
yeah, yeah.
snapped.
Yeah.
For
But-
a second there, I was like, "Is Thanos? Is this movie gonna end where Thanos wins again? Like,
No.
what the fuck?"
No, but that was the thing about the expectations. They were expecting Thanos to just go ham on the Avengers and just start slaughtering all of them, and also that everyone wanted like Iron Man to go ham on Thanos, like you took Peter from me, I'm gonna fuck you up, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like they were expecting like this big battle where all the original six were probably gonna like. This is what I'm just assuming that they were thinking. Like all the original six was gonna take on Thanos, and they were gonna like all like one of them was gonna kill him, not by like a snap, but by like them stabbing something through him or blasting him to hell. Like that's what they were probably expecting.
Yeah.
They wanted some. It was just the action movie craze. They just wanted something to explode or something to happen that was flashy.
I liked it though. I thought it was a fitting.
Oh no, it was perfect. I'm not supporting with that expectation whatsoever, but that's probably what they wanted, and that's why they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Can we?
I kind of wanted Thor to chop off his head again.
Yeah.
No, his
I
fat ass
think
couldn't do it.
We should talk about things that we don't like.
Okay.
Wait. Should we get into your plot hole? Because I feel like we should.
Well, that's one of the things that you.
It's not necessarily something that I don't like, though. Okay,
Well,
so it's gonna take a minute for me to explain.
Okay.
And I'm
ready
know.
to hear it.
I don't know if it's really going to matter or not.
It could be something big. It could be nothing at all.
Yeah.
All right, so put a time skip on here. Be
So-
like, go to this point.
What's the lady's name from Doctor Strange? The bald lady that like teaches him
Ancient
everything?
one.
The ancient one. So when Bruce goes and gets the time stone from her,
Yes.
she says that if you remove the stone from this reality,
Yes.
then it will allow darkness
Yes.
to flow through its place.
Yes.
The stones were destroyed in their reality. In the reality that the Avengers are in right now, all of the stones are gone.
Yes.
So what's going to happen with all
What's
that
gonna
darkness
happen?
that's supposed to come through?
That's maybe where the next big villain's gonna happen. Like Galactus
Yeah.
comes through, or the Annihilus from the Negative Zone, which is basically like
So-
pure dark energy,
I didn't even think
or
about
Dormammu.
that.
So,
it's
But my
like-
thing, a thing that bothers me about that,
I think the whole point is that was more of a time travel thing. Like you take
Yeah.
one stone into the future where another stone might be. That's where the darkness might be. Like
Maybe.
that's where I think it was more focused on. She was trying to explain time travel.
well, it seemed more to me like they would, it would be a thing that, fucking, the stones sort of, since they're so powerful, they kind of keep the darkness out by existing.
Right, so the stones need to all be intact and in existence in order for everything to be balanced.
I get, well, okay, so essentially what she explained, because remember she had that like light
Yeah.
tunnel thing, and then
She
she
did.
removed one of the stones, and then the darkness started flowing through that stone's place.
Mm-hmm.
So when all the stones are gone, the darkness is flowing through all of those places. So is that going to be what comes?
I think-
Although
next?
again, based off of like what you're saying, it would be like even though all the stones are destroyed now, wasn't she saying that it would be make a separate time, freaking thingy thing?
Yeah,
for
I
each
forget.
stone,
That's
it would
why I
be
think
alternate
it was more
realities.
of the time travel thing was that it would, if they removed the stone for too long, it would corrupt their reality, and then further on forward, that future would be fucked. That's what I think she was talking about. I
I
don't think
see.
she was talking about
Because the stone
further
is
on.
still supposed to be
Yeah,
there in
the
that
f-
reality.
Yeah, but since
Oh,
they brought it
that
back
makes
literally
sense.
like technically time travel, they brought it up back seconds after, to the point where nothing would have happened. So it didn't matter whatsoever.
And then, so with that being said, if we're right about that, and it's okay that the stones are gone in this reality because they're supposed to be gone in this
Mhm.
reality, do you think any of the other realities are going to come back to haunt them?
Possibly, because the quantum realm is apparently like a portal to other realms itself.
Mhm.
So possibly we can get like a Spider-Man Earth 1 versus like Ultimate Spider-Man. Like there could be some total like maybe that's how the next big bad's gonna go. Like to take down Galactus, they need different heroes from different universes or whatever. Like it could.
I don't like that.
It could.
I
I'm
gotta
just
say,
theorizing.
I know, but I don't like that they kind of like just all of a sudden it seems like they're just like, well, there's all these different possibilities. And it's basically kind of like
You're gonna hate
anything
comics
could
then, like,
happen
honestly. You're gonna-
at all. Well, I don't read comics.
Yeah, that's probably
But-
why you don't
Well,
like
that's why
this at all.
I was saying this movie was the most comic booky movie out of all of the Marvel movies so far.
But for a
Which
movie,
it's not necessarily a bad thing.
for a movie though, well, the comic books have like there's thousands of different variants
Mhm.
of different stories and different characters,
And most
and
of
they
them
have
aren't even canon.
so much time to like develop. But like for the movies, you're talking like anything could happen, and this could be like 20 different movies right here, like hypothetically,
Right.
like with this stuff, and it's in the time travel stuff and different realms and different possibilities for anything to happen, and it's just kind of like I don't know. I feel like it kind of made it really complicated.
Yeah, that's why you gotta keep following and watch all the movies. Make it
Yeah.
uncomplicated. Honestly, like if you watch all the movies up to if you don't watch any of the movies up to Infinity War and you just watch Infinity War by itself, none of that makes sense whatsoever.
That's true.
So that's why you should it'll be less complicated if you follow it. It's not that.
And then also on that same note of the other timelines coming back to haunt them, because if they can travel to other timelines and other realities, what's to say people can't travel to theirs? Do you think that Loki's going to come back? Assuming that Loki actually genuinely is dead in their timeline, do you think, because he got the Space Stone?
He did get the Space Stone briefly, but I think that was one of the like we were discussing that it was a possible dead timeline. It was something completely separate that is like it has its own future now.
That was confusing. Now, see, this is what I'm saying. It just makes things confusing now.
But then that's why you disregard that.
If Loki has one of the stones, what's to say that he won't become powerful enough to travel between timelines and travel between realities, and then he could travel to the realities that the Avengers that we know are in?
The thing about the stones is that they only work in the reality that they were created in. So if he travels to a different universe, then he's stranded.
No, because they took the stones out of different timelines.
That's time. That's not reality.
Oh, okay. Well, different timelines then. Different timelines.
Yeah, different times. Yeah, sure. Like he can't use the Space Stone to do that. He needs the Time Stone for that.
But what if he figured it out somehow?
That's just not that. The Space Stone's core principle is energy and space travel. So he can travel anywhere in the universe. He just can't travel through time because that's the.
Well, that makes it really easy to get to the Time Stone then. So what's to say he couldn't?
He
get
can't.
The Time Stone?
The whole point of the Thanos being the guy to wield the gauntlet is that even the Moss said it in Infinity War was that barely anyone's been able to use one Infinity Stone, and now he's holding two. He's the only person that could do that. Loki doesn't have the power to do that. If he tried, using that first one, that's probably the most he could do. He can only use one at a time. Okay. So he doesn't have the will.
So you don't think there's any way that Loki could get brought back through, and not even the Loki, like saying the Loki in their timeline is dead for sure. There's not a Loki from another timeline that could be brought back.
I'm not sure because they have the whole Loki TV show coming out, and that's supposed to be when he's younger. So possibly something goes on, and then he's brought back to life. Maybe the Time Stone fucks with that. I don't know. But
wait a second. Why does it matter if Loki is around or not?
Because people are always raving like, "Oh, he's not really dead," but he fucking dead. He got choked out in the first movie.
3 times.
Well, really, it doesn't mean anything because he's weak and they all fuck him over anyway.
Yeah, but he's a fan favorite.
Yeah, but like.
Because it's Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, but like
girls think. Well, as you can tell, you are not the popular opinion because you're like trashing people going on the opening night. It's like that's exactly what you were doing.
No, okay. It doesn't matter if you go on the opening night. I just like, and I don't care if you're excited or whatever, and like hype it up or whatever. I don't give a fuck. But when you're in the movie, you're watching the movie. It just seems like somebody's like screaming. Like if you're just watching.
That was honestly one of the most low key Thursday openings that I've ever been to.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
That was one of the low key ones. Literally, when Infinity War came out. Well, this is because I was in San Francisco as well when I watched it. But when Infinity War came out, everyone was cheering. Like I was even a part of the cheering. Like it was just loud, and like there were some parts where I missed the lines, of course, because everyone was cheering. That's why you go watch it a second time. On the weekends when everybody's bummy as fuck.
I was gonna say when you were talking about it earlier, Crystal, is that most of those guys are just gonna see it again anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't matter. See,
and
like,
it's a big part. It's a big part of the experience seeing it opening night. Like you got to go in.
For these people, but for me and you,
if you don't want to have that experience, you need to watch it at a different time because there's nothing you can do about that.
I understand when people are cheering when it starts. That's great. Like I understand you guys are hella excited or whatever, but like after the movie's going on, like just let the movie go on and then like cheer at the end or something. And
you're definitely trashing them right now. You can't.
Anyways, all right. Anyways, speaking of the beginning of the movie, our genius. Sometimes it's scary to me. We predicted the beginning of the movie perfectly almost in the last podcast. Why are you looking at me like
Your
that?
testosterone levels are through the fucking roof right now.
But no, it's just funny to me because we literally had the conversation where I was like, there'll probably be a time jump after Hawkeye's family dies that'll be like 5 years or something like that, and then it was exactly 5 years.
Yes, but it wasn't exactly after that scene though, because there was Hawkeye's family that died.
Well, no, but we also said, because I watched our old podcast right before this one just to make sure that I was right about everything I'm about to say.
We were right, because you theorized that Hawkeye's family was going to start off dying in the movie, and then I said they're going to roll the Marvel intro.
Oh,
and that's why we were right. It was a team effort.
But then also, I said that, we kind of all said it together. We were all kind of just in agreement and adding things to it. But we said that they were gonna show everyone's kind of like reaction to the snap and like what happened to the world right after the snap, and then it was gonna be all right 5 years later or whatever time.
5 years later, and it was exactly 5 years later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I did say that it probably won't be that long, but it was that long. I was like it'll be like 5 years or probably not that long.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Really not.
So what do you think in that 5 year gap? So with the 6 Avengers, they all went their separate ways, obviously. But okay, so Tony, he had his family, he had his kid, he did his own thing. Thor became a fat piece of shit. Captain America had a share circle. Ronan just went on a fucking vengeance spree. And then Hulk or Banner became Professor Hulk, which was funny as fuck.
I kind of wish they showed how he did that. I get that it was a 5 year time jump, but that's another thing, kind of like what I talked about in the Star Wars thing, where a character completely changes between one movie and the next. Yeah. And you kind of have to show that before, instead of just throwing it in there and being like, this is how this character is now. Not that his character changed as drastically as like Luke's
change.
character.
It was a pretty big change, because like he went from just two different personalities into one.
But Luke Skywalker's change was literally a complete flip on his character. He's literally the antithesis of what his character used to be. Whereas this is just a slightly different version of Hulk.
Well, because
Banner,
they changed Luke's personality completely. Because he was always this cheerful person when he was the young Jedi, but then when he was a cynical old man. Hulk.
Okay. The new Star Wars sucks.
Okay. I know. I was about to move on. What the fuck? So Hulk, Banner has always been, or how Thor Ragnarok interpreted him after that was that he was this joking person, and then it kind of went on that way, and it was like when they first introduced Professor Hulk in the diner, like he was still in his joking manner, and it was just like nothing really changed about him. It was just that he was big and green now. Like that was it. His personality didn't change at all. Hulk's personality was gone, but his body was still there.
Yeah, that's true. It's still something that I would have liked to have been shown.
Oh yeah, I would love to have seen that. Like, what did they do to agree on this?
Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
And then, to finish it off, Black Widow was the only one that stayed, because she was the only one in the Avengers headquarters or whatever, trying to lead everyone. And it was kind of sad, but this was probably the only movie where she actually had character development. Let's be real here, because like she like stated that like this family was I had nothing, and then I had you guys, and I was just like, wow, she actually has a purpose in this movie.
She said she didn't know her dad and all that.
Well, yeah, but like she was talking. That's probably what they're going to show in the prequel, is that how she got trained and how she didn't have a family. But like, it was actually refreshing to finally see her develop as a character. But then she got killed shortly after. But I saw that coming. But I didn't.
Yeah. That was a surprise to me, honestly. I mean, when they sent them to Vormir, Hawkeye and
you knew one of them was going to die.
But I was sitting there thinking, like, obviously one of them has to die. But I was sitting there thinking they're gonna find a different way. There's gonna be a way around it, you know.
Yeah.
And then it finally got down to it, and then it was like, oh, it's gonna be Hawkeye. Oh, it's gonna be Black Widow. Oh, it's gonna be Hawkeye. Oh, it's gonna be Black Widow. And then I was like, which one?
I thought that was a great sequence, but when I saw Black Widow die for him, I'm like, fuck, she did.
Yeah.
But I thought that was
the other thing too that I don't like about that is that Hawkeye's story arc through this movie is that he fell down to being Ronin. You know, like
Hawkeye.
He that's considered like a
his
lower
low level.
And then now that everything's happened, he's going to be back to being Hawkeye. But I really want to see more Ronin. So if they'd kept Black Widow's character alive, they could have done something interesting with her character. But now they have Hawkeye, who's never going to be Ronin again.
I don't think they could have done anything. I think Black Widow was honestly at her peak, and like, because in the comics, like, there's not much, dude. She's just a spy, and in the world of heroes, a spy is not really much. So I thought it was cool that she was in the Avengers, but every time I saw her fighting everything, I was like, damn, how are you alive? But
I guess that's true.
because like at least Hawkeye stayed at a distance, and he had a bow that would like pierce people. Like he had explosives. It had all these little gadgets, so it's like he had more probable cause to survive.
Hawkeye sucked. They both sucked.
Yeah.
But I didn't like him as Ronin. That was stupid.
I thought that was good.
I'm sure in the comics it's cool, but I just thought in the movies it was just stupid, and then they didn't really explain it. Yeah. And then it's like he's just killing all these.
That's the point. That's why I'm saying I would have liked to see more Ronin.
I mean, he still had the sword. He was fighting with that shit, so he might keep that.
But I mean, like, Ronin as a character. Rather, like, I would have liked to see more.
Yeah, that would have been fucking dope.
Also,
honestly,
you know what though? I don't like. Just something about Jeremy Renner. He plays the character well, but just something about him as like.
He's very much a personality actor where like he can only really act in one type of role. And it's just like a very consistent role, like an action hero that's very dramatic. I feel like that's what he's good at. But
but I don't know. I don't like him as.
What I took away from Ronin's little tiny character development was that he was killing all these criminals because they survived the snap and his family didn't. Yeah. He's like, why the fuck are you guys alive when my family is dead?
But like to me that doesn't have enough depth.
And
no. I'm not saying it did, but that was the only thing that I noticed.
I liked that. But again, I wanted to see more of it, and I would have liked to have been shown that rather than have him like find out, oh, Ronan's going on this huge murder spree, and then he's like, I'm going on this murder spree because you guys survived the snap and my family didn't. I would have liked to have been shown that in a way rather than just have him be like, this is why I'm doing it, you know. And have it be more cinematic. I guess. And that's I guess that's what I mean. Like I would have liked to see more of his development as Ronin rather than just he's Ronin. Okay, now he's not Ronin anymore.
Maybe they could do a spin-off Hawkeye movie of him doing the in between. Cause
well, I'm just saying I don't think it's gonna.
Oh no,
I don't think they're gonna do anything with the Ronin character.
They probably won't. But
because that's his arc.
That's a very dark interpretation. Yeah. And if they were to do that, it would be probably rated R. Yeah. Because like.
And Disney's not gonna do that, so. But it's all right. It was still interesting.
They possibly could do it. I mean, they're gonna keep Deadpool rated R. I'm pretty sure, and because they're keeping Ryan Reynolds, and I don't think he wants to do a PG-13 Deadpool. But
we'll see.
But yeah. But I think that they can do it. But it's what?
Can I say that I don't like Captain Marvel?
I mean, you have your opinion. It don't matter.
I think she needs more development. I was surprised that she was as unimportant in this movie as she was. I thought there was.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I thought that was good because, like,
I understand why, but going into it, I thought she was going to be a much bigger player, which she did end up being important in the end in the final battle, and she was an important part of that.
Literally for one moment.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I thought we were going to see a lot more of her in this movie, but I guess they're gonna save it for her next movie.
I like how they introduced Peter and Captain Marvel, though. It's kind of like showing that there is going to be another Avengers, because like how they talk to each other.
Yeah.
However, she's been nowhere this whole time. No one's heard of her. I didn't even see Captain Marvel, the movie.
It's not worth seeing.
It was alright.
But that's what I heard. I heard you guys talk about it, and it did. Well, you said it was alright.
It was alright, but it was worth watching again if you're a Marvel fan. But it wasn't. It was fine. It wasn't as bad as everyone said it was.
No.
I just don't like how it seems like she just came out of nowhere, and then like no one has heard of her this whole time. And then all of a sudden, here I am.
Yeah.
You know, fucking most powerful hero
in the MCU.
In the whole fucking thing. And like again, the argument could be made because like in the movie, she's saying, you know, she was and this is to me just like their excuse for like, this is why she's like here all of a sudden. Line. Yeah, it's like, but she was saying like I was in all these other different worlds. helping them deal with their shit basically. But
I mean, it made sense because like she wasn't there when New York happened.
again, it does make sense, but it's just like that. It's like really that's your best excuse.
The
for
main
why she's
issue that I take with that is that she's like, oh yeah, I was on all these other planets, and that's why I've never interacted with any of you, and that's why I was never around. But she also never ran into the Guardians of the Galaxy, where in their movies they're going to all kinds of different planets.
Even the other ones would have heard of her too somehow. I mean,
why didn't Fury ever say anything about this very
It was
powerful...
classified. The fuck?
Well, no, it's just.
But-
I mean,
So
obviously we
think
know
about it
why,
like this: like
but
he has like 6 heroes lined up for the Battle of New York. Why would he call this one chick in when he already has 6 people?
because he could only
It's like
call her in, and she's the most powerful one.
Yeah,
And the point is, like, we know that why this is like this because they didn't plan to have the Captain Marvel movie when all that was happening. But it's like it's just a poor way of like pushing it in there.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm not saying it was good, but like they're
And
just
I
thinking
also
about
just-
the character. There's no
I just
reason for
hate
it.
And
how
also-
all the characters are one's more powerful than this one, but then this one's more powerful than this one, and then here's someone more powerful, and then she's the most powerful.
But they have to keep building it up like that to keep the
Yeah,
stakes
but
high.
they don't
But
because
then
it's
why
been
do
this
they
long
make
and
them
like.
weaker?
Well, it's kind of like. So all of our characters that we've seen, they've grown from like the bare bones. Like Iron Man grew up like he had like scrap metal for his first suit, and then now he has this nanotech that can fight. Like he can fight a Titan.
Yeah.
Like, but Captain Marvel is just like she jumps in. It's like, oh, I'm powerful.
Yeah.
That's it. No development whatsoever. Like I
Well,
just
yeah,
have these powers.
that's again because she's only had this one stupid movie, and then,
Yeah.
You,
Which
Oh,
is
if you
it,
see the
also-
movie,
because she does need more development.
It's painful. You
Also,
don't want to see
playing
it.
off of Captain Marvel, I just thought it was a funny scene in the movie because like
When all the girls
I'm not sure who was talking or who
I thought
was
that was a
telling me
powerful
about
scene, the
this,
fuck?
but like basically, I guess you were telling me kind of like the Captain Marvel movie was kind of like they made a bunch of points to be like, I'm a woman. This is why
that was
I'm
huge.
powerful. Like this,
Yeah.
I can do this regardless of me being a woman. And it's like, to me, in this movie, the scene where that was like, for some random reason, all like Spider-Man's hurt, and then all of a sudden, all the female
all the female
superheroes are
characters
there.
surround them.
It's like, no, we are women. We're powerful too. And it's like, it's just like
Yeah.
you don't have to.
Like you can.
Crystal explains it better. I'm probably sounding like a douche, but like Crystal had a point when she was talking about it before. And
Because in the Captain Marvel movie, it was just like very pushed on that she was a woman and she could do it, but it was saying it wasn't showing it, or
well,
it was showing it, but it was like
you were saying that like, why can't she just be a woman and a hero? Why does it have to be like, I'm a woman, I can do this too.
Like,
I don't need no Iron Man. Like, fuck, like
That was something that I heard a lot about people comparing it to Wonder Woman, because people were saying that Wonder Woman, she's just a hero.
Yeah,
and
they're not
it
treating
doesn't.
her different. She's not different of
right,
another hero.
which is
She's
why
just
I
a
thought
hero.
the scene with all the girls specifically was just like extra like cheesy. Like, I don't know.
It was extremely cheesy. It was a powerful cheesy moment. I thought
That being said, though, I still liked it.
I liked it, and I was just like, oh, this is cool. Like, look, because it was very male dominated, and now look at they have all these female characters now, and it's like I'm not like it was
one
very
female
cheesy.
character other than Captain Marvel I could do without is the new whatever her name is. It's Potts in the
Pepper
Iron Man.
Potts.
Yeah, she's not. I don't think she's gonna come back.
No, she's not coming back.
She
That was just for
has,
the.
sucks.
You don't like Pepper?
No,
I-
but just
I didn't
as
like
that,
Pepper.
I was just like,
I didn't like Pepper. She's like, don't go out there, bitch. Something's going down, and you're telling your husband or your future husband like, oh, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
well,
I'm
she just
confused.
cares
that was-
about him.
That was Infinity War.
She cares about him and she
That's-
loves
Well,
him,
yeah.
and she was
Tony's wife.
scared because he had, he was fucked up from New York and
Well,
like,
yeah, but like if you see everything that they could do, and it's just like something big is going down.
Yeah,
like all these
but
people were running away. in panic.
hypothetically, Captain Marvel could do it all by herself, but some reason she wasn't there to do it anyways.
Anyways,
But also, like,
Also,
You're
Captain
married
Marvel's
to-
haircut sucked.
you're married to that person, like you really care about them, so that's why she didn't want him.
Well, the
I
whole
know, but
thing
I mean-
was
Well,
because he
it was
was
also
fucked up.
it was also kind of her arc, her character arc, that
Yeah.
she was like that, and then at the end she was kind of understanding of it,
She just
Mhm.
let
to the
it
point
go.
where she was like
Mhm.
it's okay if you have to sacrifice yourself to save everybody else because I understand it now,
Yeah.
because
Although now she has more of a reason
Yeah,
to say
because
not
she
to
has a
because they have a
daughter.
kid.
Yeah.
but like I think that's why they had like because for a second there when Iron Man died, I thought they were just gonna have all these characters lined up and they all get their moment with him before he dies, but then it was just Spider-Man and Pepper because they did Spider-Man first, which I really liked because it was like a flip on Spider-Man.
It was a flip because like Spider-Man was past, like he was
Yeah.
turning to dust, and then Iron Man was holding him, and now Spider-Man was sort of holding Iron Man, but like he was like saying "don't go" or whatever.
Yeah, and then Pepper comes in after, and she kind of is telling him like it's okay that you did this, like you don't have to feel like I thought it was wrong, you know, like I think you did a good thing, even if I have to like even if there's consequences for it for me. Like that was like her arc.
I know, but I would have loved that like last movie because like shit was going down. Man.
But it's like just in time because he's just dead now. So
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was well done, but every time I watch Infinity War, I'm just bothered, just like stop, please stop, just get past the scene.
Okay, all right, let's talk about Spider-Man.
No.
Literally, all you
He
want to talk
has
about
0% to do with this movie.
He literally has like
But
he has the one part where he's holding the gauntlet and killing everyone.
This is not
But-
going to affect his other movies either.
No.
But it is going to affect his
How?
movies. His mentor just died. It's going to change his
So?
whole character.
Happy's still there. That's his mentor as well.
Literally, the trailer for Far From Home looks like this didn't even happen.
That was the point. They didn't want to spoil
but
Endgame.
why would they put like I don't know? It's just stupid. Why would they put the trailer out?
Well,
because their movie's
releasing-
coming out in like a month.
Yeah, why would they make the movie so close?
for money.
Money. Oh my god.
They're gonna release another trailer for Spider-Man: Far From Home before it comes out. That is going to show the effects of it.
My point is though,
Endgame.
like them making the Far From Home trailer. It's like it kind of like was like okay. I don't know. It's kind of like okay, well he's fine after Endgame, so nobody has to worry. Like we already knew everything was gonna be okay
Well,
for the world anyway.
Well, you knew Spider-Man was coming back regardless.
Yeah, but well, that's a whole.
And you like there was what I'm very confused in your problem with this. Like honestly, you're not putting it into the right words to make me understand it because right now this is sounding stupid.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I didn't like how they had the trailer.
Yeah, and your reasoning was
I don't know.
dumb and I destroyed it.
Everyone knew Iron Man was gonna die. Everyone knew Spider-Man was gonna come back, and all the new.
I
like,
didn't know
Black
Iron Man was gonna
Panther.
die. I thought it was gonna be like Captain America was gonna die.
Well,
And Iron Man lived in his whole
He's
life.
old as fuck.
Yeah,
Well,
all of them.
Also,
died.
that was dumb.
But they said they said that Chris Evans is sort of coming back
What?
as his old self, most likely.
So
Interesting.
Captain America's dead.
No, he's still alive. The fuck.
Okay, he's alive,
He's a
but
He's
geezer.
retired.
he's
dead.
old as fuck.
He's dead.
nasty.
But is there another Captain America?
Yeah.
Yes!
It's confusing.
Wait, you're talking. Oh my god, stop with the stupid plot hole. I thought you already
That's-
explained this.
We didn't talk about it on this on the podcast.
And I'm so confused
All right,
about
since you want to bring it up, you need to explain it.
I'm confused too.
No.
Okay.
Shh.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. It's gonna be hard for me to explain because it doesn't really make sense. I think.
Do your best then.
Okay.
Because you brought it up.
So, the ending of the movie. It's Captain America. He goes back in time. All of a sudden, he's on the bench. He's
return
old.
the stones, by the way.
Rest. He's old. He's on the bench, right where. This is assuming that everybody has seen.
Okay,
this
so
movie.
basically the ending
But-
goes that Captain America, he returns all the stones, and he was supposed to return back to 2019, but he did not, and he stayed in the 1940s to stay with Peggy and live the life that...
I think it was like the 70s.
It might have been the 70s, actually.
But it doesn't. I mean, it's not important. But,
But like
he stayed in the past.
He
It
stayed...
kinda is important.
No, it was the
that he would've
40s
been
because
dead.
it was the
by the
40s because
time-
they showed the shot of the 40s after that whole thing.
How old
It was
would
him
he
and
It did. Again,
40s.
he
Anyways,
stayed.
Anyways, he stayed, and instead of returning as his young self, he shows up all of a sudden nearby, but he's old as fuck.
He's sitting at a bench.
And to me, it's like Louis, can you please try to help me out here?
All right, so
Because I'm getting
the reason
fucking
it's confusing is because they make the rule that if you change something in the past, it doesn't affect your future. It just creates a new timeline. So Captain America going back in the past, it doesn't make any sense. What are you doing?
Calculating this.
It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense that he would go back in time and then come back as an old man, because him going back in time and choosing to stay back in time should have created a new timeline, and it shouldn't. And he should have just not showed up at all.
But at the same time, him doing that, and even him becoming an old man in the same timeline, would still mean that there's another.
That there'd be two
Captain America frozen still, and then he would still be alive in this timeline.
That's why the timeline's not fractured, is because that there was still excuse me, the Captain America was still there. That there was a second one there, the one that was frozen in ice.
Yes,
and then he came out of the ice and everything unfolded like it was supposed to. But the old Steve Rogers was coexisting with the one that was going through all the events. So there was two at the there if that's your theory.
So that,
but
that
there
has
shouldn't
to,
that shouldn't be able to happen. There shouldn't be able to be two.
No, because you're not making sense. That would have to be under the assumption that the Steve Rogers that went back in time stayed in hiding the entire time, and nobody knew he existed except for Peggy.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about him with. Like, he literally lives with one of the most covert people. She's the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. So she clearly needs to have a secret life, so no one should know that he is alive.
I guess that's possible.
But what about the other one? The other Steve Rogers?
He's frozen, and then he wakes back. He wakes up in 2011, and then that's everything unfolds.
So let me ask you, where is he on that day when they find the old Steve Rogers on the bench?
Well, at that point, he can reveal himself.
But
where's the other one?
It's the loop that he got sent back in time.
So it creates that loop.
It's like the Terminator loops. You got to keep it going.
So
So the new one, the one that's frozen, that was frozen. He went through all the events. He goes back in time.
So you're saying the
so
other one is
the
back
one.
in time right now?
Yes.
But then that means there's
It's
another
a
one,
continuous
so it's just a
loop, dude.
And a loop.
Yeah.
Yes. It's confusing, but it's retcon.
I don't accept that.
That's how it's happened.
So
basically,
what the assumption is then at that point is that the old Captain America, like the old man Captain America that we see at the end of the movie, existed during all of the other movies that we watched, but he was just in hiding and nobody knew he existed. But he was still there.
That just fucking confuses everything.
Yeah, it's complicated. I don't know if it's a plot hole exactly, but it's definitely complicated.
It is definitely.
I don't think it's a plot hole, but I think it's a complication that like.
It doesn't need to be addressed because he's about to fucking die anyway, and there's new heroes that they're gonna focus on. Spider-Man's staying. Scarlet Witch is alive. Hawkeye's gonna cheer in the next Hawkeye.
Scarlet Witch sucks. Hawkeye sucks.
All right,
but
Mr. Negative. So,
because he doesn't make any sense, and then he just says all this shit. So.
Going back to Spider-Man, how do you think that? How do you think his character is going to be changed?
I feel like there's going to be some PTSD.
Yeah.
Of him dusting and then him like flashing on Iron Man maybe.
And losing Iron Man too.
Yeah.
Also, how do you feel about him activating instant kill mode during the battle? Because his whole thing is he doesn't kill.
Dude, they were aliens, mindless aliens.
But they're still
no.
Character development?
This is the point. Like, you have reached here right now. You just need to shut the fuck up.
No, but listen.
No. You've had your fun.
Stop. That breaks his character.
No, it doesn't.
Why would he just do that?
Well, a few things is that number one, Marvel can also decide to take a new take on his character.
Yeah, but they shouldn't just be. He shouldn't have changed since we last saw him.
He's a 15. He's actually I think he's like 17.
Back to what? Not Mylan. Sorry, Cameron was saying is that they're mindless aliens, but they're still living beings. You know.
Yeah, they are.
So.
Would he kill a little puppy?
Is his thing?
Because that would be like.
Is his thing that he?
More like a crocodile.
Okay, so think about this. You have the gauntlet. You are trying to survive in a horde of aliens. You really gonna have your no-kill rule right there? But it was a survival thing. It's definitely was a survival thing. It wasn't related to him wanting to kill anyone. He wanted to be alive. He had a mission and he needed to protect the gauntlet.
But that's what I'm saying is, do you think that's gonna come up later? Because that was a really out of character.
Well, the thing is, that's what I'm saying. It's like it just happened so instantly and like he just like was like, okay, now.
No,
just,
I don't.
like he didn't have a second thought about.
Yeah.
it.
'Cause-
That being said, it was a cool moment.
Okay, so
when he
think
did
about
it.
this. Zombies are coming at you.
Okay,
Yeah,
Are you
we're
gonna
not
think
saying-
twice?
We're not saying that we
They were
wouldn't do it.
They're
though.
mindless though. That's
we're
the
not saying
point.
we wouldn't do
Yeah.
it though.
I don't know.
I don't think it's gonna affect him whatsoever because it wasn't someone like. There was no personality behind those aliens. There was no soul or whatever he can see visibly. He was trying to survive, and that's kind of how you can rationalize that.
Dark Spider.
And he's not gonna focus on it. No, the Venom's not in. He's
No,
not
no,
in
no,
the
not
MCU.
Venom.
No.
Dark Spider-Man.
The only way there's a Dark
Okay.
Spider-Man is
Is
Venom.
there anything else that we want to talk about that isn't just Mylan trying to piss off Cameron?
Yeah, because he's doing one hell of a job right now.
I already pissed him off, so you're doing it more is not helping.
Yeah, no, because you made no sense whatsoever earlier, and I destroyed you on that.
About what?
I'm not trashing the Thursday night
Oh
opening.
my God.
Shit, okay, but I see. You guys are nerds, so you wouldn't.
Yeah,
understand.
you just don't understand.
Okay,
Hey,
You see your hair?
Okay, so like I said earlier, is there anything we want to talk about that doesn't involve pissing off Cameron? Because those things that we just brought up were very much involved in pissing off Cameron.
Okay. No, I wanted to talk about Captain America, Captain Marvel.
Oh wait, what about Thor joining the Guardians of the Galaxy?
No,
How do you
He's
feel
gonna be in
about
Guardians 3, I feel like.
that? He definitely will be in Guardians 3.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about that?
Wait,
And where do
he
you?
joined them? I thought he was just.
Yeah, he was just taking a ride.
He's
into
taking
it.
a. He's,
He, no,
Where's he
they had
going?
well, because Gamora's not there anymore.
Well, they had the whole scene at the end of the movie where him and Peter were kind of like arguing but not arguing about who's
The
the
leadership.
captain. Yeah.
Right, but I thought he was just going somewhere.
No, he
And-
said he said he was gonna journey the cosmos with his new friends.
I don't know.
And
Well,
he
I mean,
left
he could have
Asgard.
been sarcastic about it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I like his relationship with Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like it.
They
too.
were the two
I think
Chris's
Guardians 3 is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But how do you think his character? What do you think is going to happen with him?
I
with
feel
his
like 'cause
character?
the whole point of Thor in Avengers Endgame is that he doesn't have a purpose that he wants. Because that was the whole thing about him going back in time and seeing his mom again, was that his mom told him to be himself. And that's why at the end of the movie, this is a
He
big
wants
spoiler,
it.
but he gave his kingship to Valkyrie, saying that she was a better leader than he was. And now that he's going to go off and do his own thing and find out what he wants to be.
Yeah.
Because he was always living by what other people wanted to do. He was thrown into hero ship because he needed to. He was thrown into
Yeah.
kingship because his dad passed away and he needed to step up. He didn't want any of that though, so he's gonna go find out who he wants to be.
That's he said that like word for word. Well, not
Yeah.
word for word what you just said, but he said like I'm done being what other people want me to be. I'm
Mhm.
gonna figure out what I want to be.
Yeah, so that's him going up to
Yeah.
with the Guardians. That he's gonna find out who he wants to be.
But the Guardians are heroes, so.
So
Not
he's
really.
gonna- he's
They're
gonna-
like heroes for hire.
Yeah.
But.
I mean,
but
literally.
they're still like.
They do the right
helping
thing.
people.
well, but basically in the Guardians movie, he's gonna be a superhero.
But
so.
that wasn't okay. The point is that he's gonna find himself.
Yeah.
He's lost and he's gonna find himself. That's
But-
why he was fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For his character, do you think he's gonna
He's
go?
toned.
It's an hour and 7 minutes, by the way.
Okay, so this will be the last thing we talk about. For his character, do you think that he's going to go back to being the badass Thor that we all know and love, or do you think he's gonna be this like goofy fat old man?
I don't
that
think
is
he's
just-
gonna
No,
be the. I don't think he's gonna be the fat old.
I don't think either of those things. I think he's going to be more like laid back.
I feel he's gonna be a mix.
a mix?
Yeah.
He's gonna be like the badass warrior, but he's gonna be the
Well, yeah.
comedy. It's gonna be more like Thor Ragnarok and what he was in that, because like how they took the comedic approach with that is kind of how they revived Thor as a character.
Mhm.
But he's not, because when they tried being serious in Thor: The Dark World, you can tell that was by far the worst MCU movie of
Mhm.
all time.
Yeah.
And there's Incredible Hulk, but
Mm.
basically that was. He's not going to be serious. He's not going to be too funny. He's not going to be the goofy fat guy. He's not going to be comedy relief. He's going to be the perfect in between, and that's why I think he's going to be perfect for Guardians 3,
Mm.
because that he will be serious when he needs to be, and he'll
Well,
be
it's
funny
like
when he needs to
Guardians,
be.
yeah.
That's the Guardians. So
Mhm.
I think that's why he's going to be perfect for that.
Okay.
All right. Well,
All right.
that about wraps it up.
Yes, it does.
Thank you
Put
if
a
you
bow
stuck
on it.
around this long. Leave a comment below on what you thought of Endgame and what you thought about our opinions on Endgame and where you think it's going to go. Do you think Galactus is going to be the next big bad? We'll see.
Interesting. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, but
We
that's
kinda
kind of what
did.
everyone
We did in the
is-
first one.
That's what everyone's kind of leaning towards, is that Galactus is going to be the next big bad, because that's really the only place that they can go with it.
No, they can do
But-
Doctor Doom. They can do. They can try Apocalypse again. That's not going
Yeah.
to go very well, but they can. I think Doctor
Doomsayer.
Doom's going to be. Damn. Doctor Doom can be a big villain because he's like apparently one of the most dangerous people on Earth with all his magic. So I think since they bought the Fantastic Four, he could be a big bad. And she's pulling out the Marvel book so she can look up what these characters are.
Yeah.
But Galactus,
I
I
don't know
think
who
he will
Galactus
definitely
is.
be a big one.
Oh, he's the one with the big head.
But I
Or what?
think that
He's the Planet Eater.
he's the planet
Does he have a
planet
big head?
devourer.
Damn. That's
What?
Gamora?
Yeah.
Okay, Gamora, not Gamora.
But yeah, so that's Galactus.
Yeah, the big
Oh.
head.
This is
Big
where-
head.
Louis, this is where you Photoshop Galactus into the. No, don't do that. Just Photoshop it. No one's gonna see that. Just Photoshop it.
I'll
Big
Photoshop
head.
it if you can't see it. I'll tell when I edit.
Big
And
head.
it's not photoshopping; it's placing a PNG image on the track above the bottom video track.
Louis,
They don't
Louis,
fucking-
can you Photoshop this for me?
Photoshop this.
Anyways, regardless, all right, that wraps it up. We've been recording for too long. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Sorry that we argued a lot in this
Yeah.
one.
Woo, woo.